Hey, what's happening, everybody? Rod J back again to take a look at another beer. Thanks for swinging by to check out another video. So tonight, I'm actually going to check out one that is from the macro ranks, and it's one I've actually wanted to try since I first heard about it. Just a little bit of the curiosity. Didn't really want to go buy a 6 or a 12, and I was able to find an individual. This is going to be a look at the Stella Artois Midnight Lager. So this is one they brought out on a limited basis here. So I'm not sure how much longer this one is actually going to be out there, but wanted to take a look at seeing what it had to offer for sure. Now this one actually comes in with an ABV listed on here of 5.4%. They date the bottle. Always appreciate the dating of the bottle. Good through April 5th of 2020. Right now it is just January 2nd, so plenty of time. And this one, it doesn't give you much more details around it. Now, on the website, they make some notes about it, what to kind of expect, maybe like a little bit of a Belgian chocolate. Stella is a Belgian brewery, so they have a little bit of those comments out there. But on here, it just says, always enjoy responsibly and please recycle. So, they care about the environment. Let's get this baby open and get it into a glass. And for the glass, I'm going to hashtag it proper glassware, right? So here's a nice Stella Artois chalice that I actually have. Haven't actually used this before, so breaking it out for the Midnight Lager as I start to rotate more of the glassware in that I actually have. Let's see how this baby goes. Now, one thing I always like about some of the lagers is that nice crisp feel you often receive, so hopefully this one does follow along those lines. Able to get it all into the glass and give a nice little head there as well. Head is always important on a beer because that does release the aromas. Also releases some of the gases so you won't feel as bloated, releases some of the proteins. So you always want to get a nice little head on the beer. As you can see there, that came out nicely. The head was right to the bottom of the gold trim and it started to dissipate a little bit. So we had about a finger of head, which is what you want to get on a pour like this. Nice dark color. Does have a little bit of a brownish, reddish brownish tint down toward the bottom, so not fully jet black. You can definitely sense a little bit of the darker malts on the nose. You're getting a little bit more of a coffee type appeal. A little bit of a chocolate type flavor in there as well. A little bit of kind of a roastiness too. So when I think of coffee with this one, I'm thinking a little bit more of a lighter type espresso type feel in this one. As far as the taste, you definitely get the sense of it having a little bit of that feel of it being, I want to say kind of like a macro lager. You're kind of picking up some of that on there in the beginning, but it does come in nicely with some of the feel of it having the darker type malts. I'm getting a nice chocolate feel in the mouth. I'm getting a nice amount of a coffee feel in the mouth. That roastiness again is there in the taste as well. It's got a nice light to medium body on it, so not overly heavy at all. It leaves a nice feel of it kind of trying to be a little bit of a crossover into kind of the darker ale type area. If you think of something like a lighter type stout, although this one does not have some of the bitterness you would pick up with some of the stouts, but you've got some of the chocolate and you've got some of the coffee appeal that you often get with a stout. And of course, the roastiness. Nice little feel in the mouth of the flavor. You feel the carbonation as it goes down the throat there. Overall, it leaves a nice little bit of an appeal. Wouldn't be a bad one to have with a few things like some of your meats, like steaks, roasted pork. Something like a roast even. A little bit heavier of a type of meat this can actually balance well against. Flavors lasting a little bit longer than I was expecting it to, knowing that it was, and I say no as a macro, but thinking of that versus craft beer. But Stella does make good beers, obviously. So, anything out of Belgium is usually really decent. They are just a macro brewer out of Belgium as well. And a regular Stella Artois it's really not a bad beer to go to. It's just, sometimes we're spoiled by the craft beer world, but hey, it's not a bad Euro lager at all. I would say if you like the feel of that coffee, roasted chocolate stuff that I mentioned, and you want it kind of in a lighter type body than you might get on some of the heavier stouts or porters, not a bad one to pick up. Give it a try. First time having this one, decent enough for me so I can kick back and enjoy it. If you've had this one, let me know what you think about it. Put a comment in the comment section. Let me know how it went for you. Are you a Stella fan? If you like other Stella beer, let me know that as well. Always like to hear about some of the things you guys are enjoying. But I would say give it a shot if that is kind of something that fits your palate. And I think you may be slightly pleasantly surprised. Again, the Stella Midnight Lager, it is limited, so you want to go out there and get it at some point if you want to try it before it disappears. Not sure when that'll be, like I mentioned, but it does make mention on the website that it is a limited edition beer. That all being said, thanks for swinging by to check out another video. Always appreciate it. If you like what you saw, remember to hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit that red subscribe button and hit the alarm bell. That way you're notified as other things come out. I will look forward to catching you guys next time. Keep drinking those good craft beers, but branch out. Try some other stuff once in a while. And remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better come!